Hello guys, today we continue Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. So in the last video, we in the part where Apollo said the killer can have alibi in the third act but not in the second. Now we will press this. Load 3. The killer was someone who had alibi for the third set but not the second. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song, and I question your real logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction here, forehead. One I pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could Lamiroir have heard a voice through it? Oh, I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lamiroir's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice. Well, what if she can hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we do have? A man saying to press the switch. And near the crime scene we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. Save 3. And last but not least, prosecutor's Gavin flaming guitar. It can be all coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lamiroir heard the voice? A key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you got one thing to prove and only one thing. Lamiroir heard a voice. And she heard it during the second I said, think, how was Lamiroir able to hear the voice? She was somewhere else. When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it had it been closed either, meaning it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment, I was afraid you might be a Virginian too. As I was saying, Lamiroir could not hear the voice through that window. So there can be only one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. Well, what's this? You do amuse me so. Here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different language. Save 3. Shall I interpret for you here, forehead? Lamiroir clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window, and there is only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is? Ah, I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Yes, ask me. Very well. You claim Lamiroir heard the voice from another location. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was. Lamiroir heard the voice from here. Oh, I know where it is. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna be angry at this. This person? No, I was wrong. But maybe not that. Okay, so not that, but it must be from here, I guess. Here, press. This is where Lamiroir heard that voice from. But there's no small window. Save 3. That's the air vein. What did she tell us? She said she are Virginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window. Now you done it. You gone beyond ridiculous and into ridiculous. So Lamiro was up in ventilation system listening to this man's voice. That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it is mean. Your forehead. Okay. Okay. He'd hardly merit saying. Why would Ramiro be in ventilation system? I actually already know the answer. Hiding like a rat. No offense intended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamiro? You have been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small windows was closed, but why should that mean I could not hear through it? I fear our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter. The problem here is worse. Lamiro, the small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on wall? Yes, it was up on the ceiling. Save 3. What? Order! 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 I will have order! Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? And that's where you heard the moment of the crime? Yes, in fact I was. I'm sorry, never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? I believe it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure I can. May I remind you this is a murder trial? We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track. Above the ceiling. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. Save 3. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I'm bound to secrecy on this matter. Bound to secrecy? In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold. But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set. I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard. Save 3. Yes, but you must tell us what were you doing in detail. That's what the cross-examination is for, Ja, your forehead. Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Well, what are you going to do, Apollo? I'm going to find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it of her. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. Press. Above the ceiling. Could you be more specific? I cannot say. Because you're bound to secrecy? Yes. To tell the truth, I was not supposed to even say I was above the ceiling. I did not to say more. Doesn't sound like I'd be able to coax it out of her just by asking. Save 3. I had heard there was a small window there before, press. By small window you mean the air vent? I only remember I needed to be careful of where I put my hand and feet. I cannot see the light coming through the window, of course. The air vent grate could trip you up, certainly. So I was walking very carefully when I heard the gunshot. Startled, I crouched and listened. That is when I heard his voice come from the room. Darren's voice. I knew something terrible had happened, yet it was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard, please. So, without a word, you just let the third set start? After the curtain closed for the second set, there was still much to do. We could have prevented this whole misunderstanding if you had only told us sooner. Yes, perhaps I could have. I see little point in badgering the witness. What's done is done. The mind works differently when one is in the middle of a performance. Why, I've lost my voice in the middle of a show and kept on singing, completely unaware. Singing without a voice? If only our contradiction were so obvious. If only I could get Ramiro to talk. Pressuring her like this doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. As to why I was there, I cannot say. You heard the gunshots during the second set during your performance? You're quite sure? Yes. Why would I lie about the time? Why did you tell us this yesterday? No one has asked me. I thought you all knew. I told you Machi was not the killer. I told you this many times. Yes, you did. But you never told us why. I am sorry. Save 3. I was not able to speak of it. Unable or unwilling. She's not talking, Apollo. What do we do? We just have to prove it ourselves. As long as she is bound by the pact of silence, she won't talk. But if I can prove why she was up there, she has to admit it. But how are you going to do that? She was singing on the stage, Apollo. She could not have been up above the ceiling too. Yes, she could. I got a theory as to why too. And maybe I got the evidence to prove it. I am bound to secrecy on this matter, press. Exactly who bound you to secrecy? I'm not sure I'm allowed to say it too. It was. No, I think perhaps that is alright. It's just a name after all. It was Valen Gamry. Perhaps you know him? Valen Gamry? What? You mean Uncle Valen? What? Valen Gamry? Who's Valen Gamry? A grand magician, the one responsible for the illusion performed during our concert. Interesting reaction, Prosecutor Gavin. Ramiro was bound to secrecy. It's going to take some hard-hitting proof to make her talk. I think I know why she was up there, but how do I prove it? Save. 3. Okay, that's it for today's guys. Bye bye.